rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 120 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We emphasize that 120. We always, right? These numbers are like milestones for us. So sorry, guys. We
made it past the 17 ourselves. Again. This is the second time.
I'm excited at this point. You know, I mean, it may not be as big of a deal to other people, but you know, it's this past May was 4 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah. 4 years.
We used to do 2 a month.
Four a month now. Yeah.
We used to do 2 a month in the beginning, and then we went to like 3 or 4. We've been pretty consistently at 3 or 4. I know we had a few cancellations and a few reschedules, unfortunately, like back to back. So we got some really, really cool guests coming up. Not only today's guest, but I've got some people that have been on the show before that are coming back that you guys all really loved. And
we get a 2-week break, and I forget what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was.
I have to relearn the software. I have to learn filming again.
And you know, look, there was a couple that were just like they booked, and then they just weren't dependable. And then there were a couple like,
this shit happens.
I'm going to be in another country. I'm going to be here. I got to get back with you. Like, so we've had to reschedule. But
when you get somebody that does that, like I'm in another country and I'm going to land that morning and come on the podcast that night.
Yeah,
it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, no. And I've learned that. So check us out. So we say Jiu-Jitsu Dummies is brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can help. I say we because I am the owner of that company, and it is I love helping companies. I like to say, you know, an idea on a napkin right through, you know, opening a store. I've got a guy that just opened up his actual physical store. We built his website. We did his logo, all his print. Yep. We're helping him like retool his POS system. Like we're helping him with almost everything that we could possibly help with. I love that process. It's just like watching a little birdie fly, right? So we can literally help with just about anything that has to do with marketing. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, which is bbdigitalmarketing.com. Right there on the homepage, if you own a business, if you own a gym, you can request a free review of your online presence. Right there, there's a little form. Fill it out. Give us your business name and address, and we'll do the rest. And we'll get back to you with a really cool review. You'll see my little face in the corner. You'll get sick of me. You'll see my face in the corner describing the report and what we found. And
Mini Milton.
At very least, you know what you've got to fix. If you need a company to help you fix it, we can help. So who the heck am I? I'm Milton Campus. I am a brown belt training out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera.
Hey, yo.
Miguel. Still not with us, but we miss him. I can't wait to have him back.
His spirit is lingering.
His spirit is lingering. And just so everybody, I think I said this on the last episode. Like, no problem. Like, he's my friend. We're super good friends. We talk all the time.
He's just got a day job.
He has a regular job and a family. He got a big freaking new client at his job, and he just had to focus. He's literally traveling from Davie, Florida, if you know Florida, Davie, Florida, up all the way up to Melbourne on some days, for him to then drive down here all the way down to Miami and then go back home. It's just not doable. We can't wait till he comes back if he's listening, and I know that he listens. We miss you, Miguel. All right. Joining us today is this. I mean, just the list is so long on this one. He's a black belt. He's a gym owner. He's a SWAT cop. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a pilot. Joining us today is Greg Lapin. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really good one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate the support. Ding, ding, ding. And, honestly, the best way you could support us, besides clicking those buttons and sharing, support our sponsors, right? We couldn't do this without them. So we got to, in keeping with our sponsors, let's do a couple of quick shout-outs. Thank you to our friends over at Fro and Roll. I did it again. I see.
Fro and Roll.
Our friends, it's the friends. That's what gets me. Our friends over at Fro. Right? Thank you to our friends. Thank you to Sean. Let's take that out. Thank you to Sean over at Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. Check out their Instagram at flow_and_roll. You can see all of their custom designs. They do incredible work. We've done a custom design with them. Can't wait to do the next one. I've already got the idea. You can find our podcast team on their website as well under their team section. And that's the big thing about Flow and Roll is they have a pre-order program to help give you and your team, you're a gym owner, they can give your team all of the gear that you need with very little money down by, again, you using their pre-order program. They'll actually have your gis, your no-gi kits all online before they're printed. Your students can order, and then they can take that money. Instead of you laying out $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, you can let the orders basically pay for your order, and then you'll apply any of the profit towards your inventory that you're going to keep in your gym. I'll let him explain it better, but check them out. You can email him at flowandroll@gmail.com, or you can visit the website, flowandroll.com. And if you do go to the website and you're buying T-shirts or gis, you just need one, use code JJD and you get 20% off. Okay? Thank you to Neutral Zone Clean. You can check them out at Neutral Zone Clean on Instagram and on Facebook. The mission. What the heck is Neutral Zone, right? The mission here is staying clean on and off the mats, whether you're training in your personal life. They've got soaps. They've got wipes. They've got the spray. This is no BS. I use that spray every day. I have a spray in my bag that I'm going to top off with that refill before I leave. I told you I might leave that one empty and take this one because it's full. But I think this has a newer label, so I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to fill it up. I keep the wipes in my car. I go out, I pump gas, I'm shaking hands with people, I get in the car, and it's not because I'm like, ew, those people are yucky. These days, we just went through this pandemic. I'm just going to keep my hands clean. I don't know where your hands have been. I'm going to wipe. I use the wipes, the spray I use at the gym, and I spray, and I use that to, instead of washing my belt as often as I used to, I actually use that spray.
Handling money, touching doorknobs and door handles. And going to the bathroom. Yep. These are reasons.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's the shit that's on people's hands.
You ever been in the bathroom and like somebody comes out of the stall and doesn't wash their hands and they just zip up and they walk right out the door? I'm like, that guy is touching something. That guy's touching the doorknob and now I've got to touch it. Like I'm the guy.
Germ alert.
Wash my hands, take the little paper towel, use it to open the door, hold it open with my foot, throw it out. Like that's me.
My pinky's super strong, man. I can open any door with my pinky.
I was like that before COVID too. This isn't because of COVID. But anyway.
My dad brought me up like that. When I was little, he used to tell me, he used to wash your hands after touching money and door handles especially.
Shaking and again, for me, shaking hands. So I see somebody do this. And then they shake your hand. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to shake this hand because I know I got the wipes in the car.
Scratch your ass.
But check them out at neutralzone.com. So we're filming. This is the 27th. We're probably going to have this out like before the end of this week, before June 30th. But for the entire month of July, they're bumping up the discount from what's normally 15% to 20%. We're actually going to be posting about it online as well. So
cool.
Wait till July 1st. Get 20% off everything at neutralzoneclean.com. All right?
Nice.
Leo Optics. Love my glasses. Right? LeoOptics.com. You get 10% off with code JJD. These are bamboo sunglasses. I love these. Lionel sent us a few, more than he sent us like 5 pairs. I gave one to Bo. I thought these are the ones that I thought I lost, Bo.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago, I'm like, I lost it. They were in the garage. I had somebody come over to pick something up, and I took them off and I put them down. And they match, like the thing that I put them down on was like a cabinet that's in the garage.
That's it.
It's the same color, like it's this brown like wood color, and I just didn't even see them. Yeah. And I found them, but now I've kept 2 of the glasses for myself. So we are going to give away, waiting for like our next in-house guest. That's like that's actually going to come in for a visit, and then we'll gift somebody with one of the other Leo Optics pairs of glasses. But I love these. These are bamboo. They've got the little red stripe there on the inside.
Cool.
Love these. Again, Leo Optics, 10% off with code JJD. And actually, Greg is actually, I heard his name a couple of times because he not only works with Leo Optics, but he also works with BioPro, BioPro is one of our newer sponsors. You'll hear more about them later in the show. But, it was just like...
Interesting.
It was just like, it just happened. Kept on hearing his name. Again, he's sponsored by Leo, sponsored by Bio, and happy to have him on. So let's leave these here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
And let's do. We got a quick unboxing to do. So we've got a new BJJ box. TheBJJBox.com.
Hey,
right.
What's in the box?
This is a monthly subscription box. filled with usually 4 to 7 like jiu-jitsu, grappling, equipment, supplements, things like that, like, different gear and just little things that you're going to like. So we'll start out with the T-shirt. So we've got this month, it's actually a tank top.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Nice.
Very cool.
BJJ mode.
BJJ mode. It's funny, everybody at the gym that has a BJJ box, my coach is always saying, stop being a bear, like, kind of like, and like laying on somebody, holding them down, like using your weight and your strength. Yeah. He's like, let them work. So the guys at the gym are like, I can't wait to wear this to the gym. So let's go down a few things. I'm going to eat this as soon as we...
What's that?
We've got a Lenny and Larry's. This is a double chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, man.
I'm going to chomp down on these. These are plant-based protein cookies, right? So going to chomp down on that.
Not junk food.
Not
Well, no, it's like natural.
Yeah.
Natural snack food.
So we've got Doc Spartan, right? This is a little. Can you get
Spartans.
that, Bo? This is you can treat damaged skin. Let me see. Combat ready ointment, 100% natural first aid ointment applied to damaged skin for instant relief and fast healing. I'm reading that off of the little card that's included with every box. So very cool.
Nice.
Defense soap. Everybody knows what this is, right? Yep. Stay clean.
Awesome.
Right. We've got some monkey tape. This one's got a. This one's actually got a pink one in. I've already promised this to my coach Sophia. I'm like, I got a pink one for you. Pink one. I got. Oh, this is like the Neapolitan. I think we had one of these. We've got one of these before. Neapolitan.
Oh, neat.
Pink, brown, white, and then the different sizes. So I'm probably gonna give her this back because I think I have 2 black monkey tapes from previous boxes. Cool. So very cool. All right. Everybody knows what tape's for. I don't have to explain that. So I use it. I use tape more for like if my fingers are cut. Tape. Like I have a little cut here, like from like I guess kind of like a hangnail on my thumb, so that's cut.
Tape is what we used to listen to music on.
Yeah, that too, right? So we also have what else do we have here? This is kinesiology tape, right, Miguel?
Miguel loves that.
KT recovery. So this is actually a patch, and this says for swelling and inflammation relief. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's like something in it that's going to be
interesting.
What do you go like? What's the wording for that when it's through the skin?
Permeates through the skin.
Transdermal. What is that called? Like I don't know what that's.
Transdermal means you're switching your skin.
Yeah, no, maybe not. Oh. So let's. But very cool. I got to show you. I don't know if you can see it from Bo. Do you see that?
What do you got? That? What did you do?
That mark. This is from like the lockdown series that we're doing.
No. Yeah.
I actually hit like my ankles hit with a training partner, and it was just like this little hit. It hurt, but like 2 days later, I had like this red. It looked like I was wearing like a bandage on. Like it was all red all the way around my leg.
Yikes!
It hurt so much.
Yeah, but that's just a little bit of meat with bone behind it, and you smack that.
Yeah.
That's the old shin problem.
So very cool. Always love when my BJJ box comes.
Nice.
I use all of this stuff. If I don't use it, in the rare instance that I don't use something, I wind up giving it away.
You end up with like gifts.
And I am going to eat this as soon as we're done here today. So, thank you to Tony over at the BJJ box. Always a pleasure. All right, what else have we got, Bo?
And do you have a code for them? You do.
I'm glad that you always remind me. I'm going back to my read. So, use code JJD10 for $10 off your first order at thebjjbox.com. All right.
Whammo.
All right. Let's get Greg in here. Let's do this.
All righty.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, Greg. How you doing?
Good, Milton. Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure. I'm glad you were able to join us. We're going to dive right in. There's so much to talk about. I listened to a couple of podcasts over the course of the last week that you've done, and it's just like, wow, what does this guy not do? I'm probably the busiest person that I know, and I feel like I'm not busy enough when I listen to all of the things that you do. You're a gym owner. You're a cop. You're on the SWAT team still, right? military contractor, or at least former. You've got a wife and 2 kids. You run Guns and Geese, right? That's you as well?
Yep, correct. Myself, Greg.
And because you had so much spare time, you've also become a pilot.
Right, yeah, exactly. 3 times.
I don't even know where you want to start, but let's just start let's do the obligatory, how did you find jiu-jitsu? Let's start there.
Yeah, so it's funny, my jiu-jitsu origin story starts back in 1992. I lived in California for several years, and I went back. I moved back to the Northeast, and I flew back to California to go visit a buddy of mine that I grew up playing ice hockey and boxing with as a kid. And him and his brother put on these white karate uniforms and had these orange, long, goofy orange belts tied around their waist. And hey, we got to go to jiu-jitsu practice, And I was like, what is that? You want to come? I was like, sure. So I went with them, and I walked in this little nondescript building in Torrance, California. I walked in, there's these big green mats, just one big green sea of mat. And I'm like, this is weird. I don't know what this is. And then this kind of gangly, not really tough looking, just kind of goofy looking Brazilian dude walks in with a big black eye, and it was Hoist. And I met Hoist. I was 93. I would have been 15 years old. I've been 14, 15 years old. And I met Hoist, and I got to do a trial class there. It was the original Gracie Academy that my buddies trained at. And I spent a few days there, flew back to New Jersey, and never heard of or touched jiu-jitsu again. Did a little bit of wrestling in high school, got into Muay Thai, kept my striking stuff going. And then really in 2004, when I became a New Orleans cop, I realized I needed to really learn how to really grapple people. So I joined the local jiu-jitsu academy there, started trained sporadically on and off for almost 10 years because that's when I got into military contracting later on. So I was training between deployments or on deployments. There's always one guy on the team, and I just had one gi and a white belt that I'd bring everywhere with me. And I wore it for 8 to 10 years, sporadically training. Wow. Yeah. And then in 2013, I took an assignment in Abu Dhabi, and became some friends with some of the Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructors that they bring in to teach at the schools, at the military colleges, at the police colleges, and started training again really consistently, really hard under my original professor named Thiago Bravo, and trained every single day, 2 a day, started competing over in the UAE championships. And I just decided this is what I'm going to do with my life one day.
Bravo, is that the Bravo choke? Is that the same person?
Yeah, no, Bravo.
Bravo, okay.
Yeah, Thiago Bravo.
Okay.
Thiago's, man, if he's not a fourth, I think he's due for his 4th degree this year. But, he's from Rio. He's originally a Braza guy. But
what is that? What is Braza?
Braza is one of the original teams.
Okay.
Down from Brazil, Braza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felipe Costa and stuff. They started Braza. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But then here I am. Fast forward, now I own an academy. And I wear pajamas every day.
Yeah. It's not a bad life.
No, dude, it's an awesome life, man. I only have pants and shoes on today because right from here I'm going to Swat stuff.
Okay. I'm over here in my shorts and
shorts
bare feet. Bare feet. Yeah. It's the day job. I'm a marketing guy during the day. I own a marketing company. But if I'm usually polo, dress for the screen, but shorts below. I'm that guy, and then and it's off to the gym. So you really found jiu-jitsu. You came back to jiu-jitsu because you had become a New Orleans police officer.
That was really my first foray into jiu-jitsu. The thing, I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know what the Gracie Academy was. I didn't know who Hoist Gracie was. Fast forward, UFC and all that stuff. I was like, that's the guy. That was him.
That black guy that he had I don't know if you'd remember back. Had he come off of a UFC fight, I would expect that maybe he had a black eye from one of the UFCs.
No. So the story was, because he, of course, typical Brazilian fashion, he showed up late, you know, like everyone's already on the mat in their gis, you know, like, and he shows up. And the story was he was out the night before and got into a bar fight.
Okay. There you go. Many moons ago, though. Okay.
Yeah. It was a long time.
So you're a cop in New Orleans, and it's like these days now. I get, you know, so many departments are talking about jiu-jitsu, or so many people are trying to get departments to talk about jiu-jitsu. Right. Was it just something? Was there anybody else doing jiu-jitsu, or you just had the knowledge? I need to find something. I need to do something that's going to help me on the streets here.
That was it. I need to find something. You know, I knew how to strike. I knew how to punch. I knew how to box. You know, I boxed and did Muay Thai for years, and I realized, like, you can't punch someone into custody. You can't punch someone into a set of handcuffs. You got to be able to grab them, control them. And obviously, fast forward, you know, 20-something years now. I'm 45. My thought process and ideals of violence in general is drastically different. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've got to find something else. And I knew what jiu-jitsu was now. You know, like I understood it, and I just found the local jiu-jitsu academy, and it was in the city of New Orleans. So it's like me and a whole bunch of like stoners that could kick the shit out of me, you know?
See, Bo, you'd find a home. I'm trying to get Bo to train. I'm trying to get he doesn't train. I'm trying to get him to train. I'm like, you're going to fit. He would fit right in.
Absolutely. You know, like
the stoner culture, that's it.
Cool, that's it. That's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu. And it's like, for me, it's like, I've always, even as a kid coming up, I've always kind of been okay. Look, we all have ego. Ego is healthy in the right doses, but I've always also been okay. If this is going to make me better, or this dude's going to make me better, or I can learn something, I'm going to shelve my ego for a second. And, you know, like, let's grow. Hey, why did I become pilot? Because I felt a lack in my capability, you know? So it's like, is there time of the day? Fuck yes, there's time of the day, you know? Yeah. And so I was the only cop training, and started like understanding some of the magic. And I'd go to class that day, and then I'd go to work that night and put my uniform on and chase a bad guy down an alleyway and tackle him and be like, let me try this new move that I learned. And he'd slip out and punch me in the face and go, oh, fuck, that didn't work. And, you know, so it was cool. Trial by fire. I got to use it for real, you know? Yeah,
that ego side is something that I talk to just some of the guys that I train with. I'm not a coach. I love talk. I feel I'm a brown belt. I feel I've been around long enough to be able to tell these guys, like, I've been through what you've gone through, and I don't think that it ever stops. But you know, I see a lot of the guys like not wanting to train with like a white belt or a blue belt, not wanting to even approach me to roll or to train. I'm one of the bigger guys there. I'm in the 220s right now. I've been losing a little bit of weight, but I'm, you know, normally right around a little under 240. So, you know, the 175ers, even the guys at 200 pounds, like, don't want to even, you know, I'm like, you understand though, if you hide from me, it's going to be worse when we do roll. But if you approach me, or, you know, or let's just say that, let's take myself out of the equation. If you approach somebody that you may be nervous about rolling with, it's okay to say, hey, could we start here? Or can I ask you a question? Or could you show me this thing? I'm having a problem. Even when we're rolling, and start there. And you get them into a teaching mode, or like they feel almost like a coach. And it's not just like, okay, I'm going to take you down and I'm going to maul you, right? So that I've tried to tell people, like, this is the way that you handle that in situations where you're feeling like you don't want to roll with this higher belt. This is the way you can control the roll without controlling the roll, right? It's a great way to do that. But at the same time, like, don't be scared. Like, if you were good at it already, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't need to be here. You need to roll with the higher guys. I'm always telling them, okay, I just kicked your ass. I'm going over there now, and that guy's going to do what I just did to me. Yeah. He's going to do that to me. He's going to maul me. I'm not going to be able to get out of it. You know, he's going to get me in a north-south, or he's going to put me in a compromising position, and I'm going to be fighting to get out, because he's been doing this way longer. He's stronger. He works out every day. He's got, you know, he goes to 2 different schools, or he's going to compete, or he is a competitor. And you know, that all goes back to ego. It's being able to leave the ego at the door. And I go through it every day too, because sometimes I'm just like, oh man.
We all do, brother. And honestly, I think it's worse for us as higher belts, because I mean, when we see this, we know guys, we know the higher level belts that dodge the lower level belts that they know got their number a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? And look, we're all susceptible from it. And I'll tell you, like, for me, one of the biggest hits, I'm still a baby black belt. I've only been a black belt about 2 years now, almost 2 years. That being said, I've got, like 15 plus years of jiu-jitsu, you know. That's just how long it took me, you know. And, you know, I got a couple of young guys that were wrestlers in high school, young athletic purple belts of mine, and they fucking got my number, dude. They're like nipping there, and they want to, you know. So for me as a black belt now, people just see the belt. They don't see the 45 years of getting broken and blown up and injuries and surgeries. They just see that black belt. And there are some days that I don't feel like anyone touching me, and there are days I'm ready to lock horns and fucking get down like 2 elk in a row, you know. But like, not too long ago, one of my purple belts caught me. He caught me straight up, got me in an arm bar. And, you know, it was a black belt tap. It was a black belt tap. You know, there's no one here. He's like looking around. And like, don't get me wrong. It was the end of the round. I probably tapped him 7 times in the first 4.5 minutes. But fatigue and athleticism is part of this game. And he straight up caught me. I didn't give it to him. I didn't let him work to it. I didn't be like, coach him through it. None of that shit. I tried to fight out of it, and he caught me. Yeah. And when I lined up all the students on the wall at the end of class, we're getting ready to bow out, I said it in front of the whole class. Hey, tonight, Jake tapped me out. He caught me.
Yeah.
It happens. And like, look, the first time I tapped my professor was when I was a purple belt. So what makes me any different than anyone else? You know, it's like, but you've got to show that ego. And it's hard sometimes, man, when these lower belts, big, strong blue belts that wrestled in college and stuff. And you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't, like you said, you can't dodge it because it's going to find you one day.
Yeah. I rolled with a fellow brown belt the other day, and, you know, I started to rethink my life. He really took it to me. I sat, I grabbed my water. I sat on the side of the mat, and I watched him roll with my coach. And my coach is no slouch. He's a black belt under Cyborg. He's no slouch. And he had the same trouble I had with this guy. We were actually, you know, we focus right now. We're focusing very much on like a Z guard and lockdown like that. My coach is a big lockdown guy, so we like our advanced classes we do where like the white belts aren't there. Or we focus on all things. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we focus on all things Z guard, lockdown, and he could the same trouble that I was having doing these things to the guy he was having, and I was just like, I'm like, okay, it's not me. That guy is just a tough. He's another. Yeah. He's trained under Cyborg as well, the brown belt. And I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad.
Right.
But
there are really good guys out there.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a young kid that trains. We used to call him. We had 2 Alexes in our gym. So one was the older Alex, and then this was little Alex. Little Alex came up in our kids program in the school, and little Alex isn't so little anymore. He's a man. He's 19 years old. Works out. His jiu-jitsu is very much on point, and a lot of times everyone is avoiding him. And I go up to him. I try to go up to him as much as possible. I should say as much as possible, as often as possible when I'm training, but like at least once a class. And I say to him, I go, it's time to take my medicine. And it's this. He's a purple belt, and he is my most difficult. I think he's the most difficult role there for just about anybody, regardless of belt. And it's a good ego check. But I'm learning more and more that, you know, there are the times that I avoided those same people. You know, who wants to go? I got to go to work in the morning. I want to go. I want to leave here happy and excited, not get smashed, right? So we all have those moments. But now I'm realizing I want to roll with the toughest guys in the room because it is going to make me better. And if at very least I'm focusing on not tapping from a guy who can dominate me, then it's a win, because some of those guys that I mentioned used to tap me, and now they can't tap me, and then now it's going to turn to like, oh, I'm catching them again, you know. So yeah, I mean, again, all goes back to ego. I mean, it's hard. What do when you're talking to your students about this stuff? You mentioned like, you know, you lined them up and you told them that story. Do you when you're coaching these guys on an individual basis, you know, do you have these conversations about ego and really learning how to check it at the door?
Absolutely. You know, we have a big sign in the academy that says, leave your ego here, you know, off the mat.
Very nice, yeah.
And I do say that, look, I do want some ego on the mat, because that's what makes us grind.
Yeah.
That's what makes you want to tap me and me want to tap you. Yeah. And then hug afterwards. Bro, that was awesome. You did great. You know, but like if there's no ego, there's a healthy amount of ego. As now, like, I've got two things that I kind of deal with here as the professor, and as a 45-year-old athlete. One, I've got to maintain my body and my health. So if I grind hard every class, you know, like I'm in the gym 2-3 times a day. You know, like yesterday I taught my early morning class at 5:45 a.m. and then I taught and trained both classes in the evening. You know, so if I don't tempo when I go hard and when I go light, I just break.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. The Jiu-Jitsu Dummies would like to congratulate Neutral Zone Clean on the release of their newest product, a healthy and pH-balanced bar soap that's perfect for anyone looking to take care of their skin. This soap is made with all-natural ingredients that help nourish and restore your skin's natural barrier. It contains glycerin, which naturally attracts moisture to itself in the skin, leaving it feeling soft and hydrated. The new bar soap also contains a blend of olive, coconut, and castor oils and shea butter, which are rich in vitamins, nutrients, essential fatty acids, and antioxidants that help fight harmful bacteria. With tea tree and other natural ingredients, it also helps in the prevention of fungal infections. Not only is it effective, but it also leaves your skin feeling fresh and lightly scented. It's gentle enough for even the most sensitive skin, making it a perfect choice for the whole family. Be sure to check out their website, neutralzoneclean.com, for a range of all-natural products including sprays, wipes, and shower gels, and use code JJD for 15% off your order. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
The other thing is, all my students deserve my attention. So I need to be able to roll with my brand new white belts, with my girls, and with my hardcore grinders, you know, my training partners. So I have like a little rotation, a little cycle where, and if it's not the day or I'm not feeling good where I'm ready to grind and lock horns, and one of my hardcore dudes comes up to me, now I can be like, not today, bro. It's an off day for me. And they understand because they know I'm not dodging them, because when it's my day to train, like, we're going to get down and we're going to grind, you know? So I've kind of built that. But yeah, I talk to them at, you know, obviously if I see something in the gym, I address it right away. You know, if I see people are discouraged, or I hear people, I tried to do this and it just wouldn't work. I'm like, well, yeah, you've been training for 2 years. He's been training for 6.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, but keep trying, you know, keep trying, you know? And it's like my young guys, I'm like, you guys, I'm improving like this, and you guys are improving like this. Like, you're going to intersect me and you're going to start catching me. It's going to happen, you know? So yeah, we have those talks, and, you know, just, hey, come in.
I remind guys when they can't do something to me, I'll remind them. I'm like, that's what like a purple belt, maybe. I'll say, that's what the white and the blue, go practice on them. And then, yeah, I mean, you can practice and see if you catch me, but practice on them.
Right.
And then you'll, one day, like you said, that intersection, you're going to be able to land that on me, you know?
Right.
There's one particular partner that I have that he loves to do lapel chokes, but he can never get the lapel chokes on me. So I'm always messing with him about it, just playing with him. We have a group chat open, and I'm always throwing some shade on him. And but he's landing it on the. I say, see, one day you'll be, but not anytime soon.
Today's not your day, and tomorrow ain't looking so good.
Yeah,
that's what I tell him. I say one day, but today ain't it, and tomorrow's not looking good either.
So you mentioned a morning class and afternoon classes. This is a family affair for you as well, right? You have your wife and kids both train or all train?
Yes, the whole family trains. My son started really consistently training when I opened up the original academy. So he's 11 now, and he's been training for 5+ years. And when I say he's been training for 5+ years, I mean 6 days a week. And summer times.
That's a different kind of 5 years than the hobbyist.
Yeah, 6 days a week. Summer times, 2 times a day. And now, so he's a yellow belt, yellow and white belt. He's 11. He's 81 pounds. And now I let him train in the adult class with one of his main training partners, who's also 11, and a couple of my teenagers. Like, my teenagers are in the adult class because, like, even though they're only 80 pounds, like, they'll roll with these 14, 15, 16-year-old teenagers that are built like grown men, and they just murk them. Yeah. They'll roll with some of my girls, like, some of, blue belts and purple belt girls and stuff. And it's like, yeah, like you said, they've got 5 years of just tons of training. Yeah. And so it's cool to see. And then my daughter's 8, and she's been training for about 3 years. Not quite as consistently, but it's a 3-day a week. She trains at least 3 days a week. And I told her, like, you don't have to compete. You don't have to train every day. You got to train 3 days a week. Both my kids have to train until they get their black belt. Like, that's the deal. And then if they don't ever want to touch it again, cool. But, like, my little girl is going to have a bite behind her bark. Like, there ain't going to be anyone that's going to do anything to her that she doesn't want done to her, when it comes down. Yeah. So, and
how about your wife? Did you meet your wife? Was she doing jiu-jitsu already, or did she start after you met?
No, yeah. She would not touch jiu-jitsu for, like, the first, like, 10 years that I did it, And, like, I bought her a gi, like, the whole, like.
Been there.
No, she started when we opened the academy. She started when we opened. Yeah, and now she loves it, and she competes and stuff, and it's cool. But yeah, it's a family. It's a family sort of thing, and, like, we have kids classes, we have little kids classes, we have bigger kids classes, obviously adult classes. We do women only classes.
That's good.
I built the gym out to where I didn't want to give anyone an excuse to not be able to train. So, like, a lot of academies, like, the professor has a full-time job and just only opens up, like, 3 nights a week, Yeah. Whereas, like, we're open. The only days we're closed are Sundays, and usually we do, like, an in-house open mat, even on Sundays. And then we have early morning classes every morning, Monday through Friday, 5:45 to 6:45, so people can get in before work. Lunch class every single day, and then evening class every single night. So no one has an excuse. Like, you can come train if you want to train. Don't tell me time's a restrictor. And it's cool. Like, our morning classes early. I hate teaching them when I have to. Fortunately, I have some coaches and professors now that do the early morning because they got to go to work too. But it's packed. We've got 20 people on the mat at 5:45 a.m.
That's hard. Yeah. I like getting up early, what I consider early, on Saturdays and Sundays. Our listeners have probably heard me say this 1,000 times. I'll go to bed earlier on a Friday night, after Friday training, actually, too. We do a no-gi, like just an advanced no-gi class. Saturday morning is no-gi. Again, really more like an open mat, but we do instruction and drills. That's at 9 a.m. I consider that early, but I'm in bed earlier on a Friday night than I am any other day of the week because I want to be ready for that morning open mat. I'm so excited about it. Like, I'm just like,
you're prepped for
I don't really drink anymore. I'm not like having a beer on a Friday night anymore, or even a Saturday, because we're 7 days a week. We're open, Saturday, Sunday, the open mats, no other instruction. But man, I love it. I love training in the morning. 5:45, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I can get up. I've never been challenged with that yet. I've never been at a school that had an early morning class like that. So I haven't been tested, but I don't know that I could get up and do that. And yeah, I just don't know if I could do that because that's a 5:45 class. I'm up at least at 4:45. Right. Got to have a coffee, a banana or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, it's pretty early, bro. I mean, I used to teach it. I used to pretty much solely teach it, but now, like I said, I got a couple professors that train here as well, and they've got full-time jobs, so they like coming in and getting in, and then they spend the evenings with their family, and so they've kind of taken that over for me. Because like last night, I was here last night till 9 o'clock, after class and cleaning up and stuff. So I have some late nights here as well. I'm not eating dinner. I'm on full Brazilian time at night. I'm not eating dinner until 10.
So gym owner. Now you're still a police officer.
So I am now technically a reserve. Okay. Only duty is with the SWAT team, which is nice. Okay. So I don't have to work patrol. I don't put a uniform on anymore. Nice. My only duty is with the SWAT team. So I am one of their explosive breachers and senior assaulters. So I help manage the explosive breaching program. I go down like right today, like as soon as we finish, whenever we're done, I'm headed that way to our office. We got to do some explosive inventory. Me and my other guy built some new explosive charges we're testing out. So we're going to go put them on some doors on our wall and blow some doors up today. And so that's all I do. So, I handle the training. I attend the training, handle the training, the explosive stuff, and then obviously any actual like warrant service call outs that we have, I'm on call for that. And then I help teach at our training facility from time to time, whether it be like CQB, room clearing, house clearing, shooting, or I help develop the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program for our agency, which we have a full Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program and mat room at our agency now.
Did they have something before you, or did you help bring it in?
I helped bring it in. One of my good buddies on the SWAT team. I call him my adopted blue belt. He technically trains under another guy about 30 minutes from me, but we're all really tight. And he and I've trained a lot leading up to his blue belt and stuff. And he and I sat down. I developed all the curriculum for the program, and then he pushed it. He's a full-time guy and has been there for a long time. And basically said, he's like, look, we've got a black belt here that can validate it and run it. We got some certifications so that the liability was covered. We got one certification we weren't super happy with, and then we ended up going to C4C PJJ with Chad Lyman.
I follow them, man.
And got that cert basically, which we're really, really happy with that program. Chad's an amazing guy. He's got a great program. And so now in the academy, when the cadets are in the academy for 17 weeks, a minimum of 3 days a week, they have jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
And not like combatives, not handcuffing, all that's separate. They do all that shit too, but like straight like jiu-jitsu. Like
if they were going to your class at your school.
Exactly. That's got to the point where now my school, I have sign-in sheets for the agency where if deputies come to my school, they can sign in and get credited hours.
Nice.
From my academy. And then we have open training days throughout the week for deputies that are already on the road to get caught up, that they have to meet a mandatory standard each month. And it's really light. It's small, but they're now grappling at least like 2 times a month, 3 times a month, like once a week almost, once every other week, which we know is not enough for us. But it's way better than what we had.
Yeah.
And it's forcing people into it. And, I think the problem with a lot of these programs is people run it like a combatives program. And then people get hurt, and people don't like getting punched, and people don't like having their fingers tweaked and a broken finger, and just handle it like jiu-jitsu practice. Make it fun. Like the whole, I hate saying keep it playful because I don't keep it playful either, right? But like I'm a smash passer, my ears are all fucked up. But there are days where I just want to pull guard and play lasso and rope-a-dope you, not let you touch my head because my neck hurts because I broke my neck last year or whatnot. I broke my C5 last year, but that's just the wing. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just some pain. But if you run it and you teach them more of the jiu-jitsu lifestyle and the jiu-jitsu culture, well, then they're like, oh, that was fun. I want to go back. And it's the slow boil process. You don't need to make them grind first class. You don't need to make them puke first class. You don't need to give them neon belly of death, to show them, like, make it fun. Don't smoke them. Yeah. So I do that at my academy. Every Friday morning, I do a free law enforcement only class. You don't have to train. You don't have to be a member of the gym or any gym. You can just show up if you're a cop.
Yeah.
And I keep it real light. And we barely even spar right now.
So tell everybody where your gym is. I forgot to ask you before. So is it inside the city of New Orleans?
No. So I live on the North Shore of New Orleans in St. Tammany Parish. It's on the North Shore Lake Pontchartrain. It's about 45 minutes from New Orleans in a town called Mandeville.
Okay.
And it's Vita Jiu-Jitsu in Mandeville.
Okay. And now I was also going to ask, has your jiu-jitsu program been around long enough where you're starting to see a difference in
use of force
situations or complaints? Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that is
seeing that decline.
It's the coolest thing for me, but it also validates the program because everything nowadays is on camera, and so
are you guys wearing body cams? Are your officers?
The road deputies do. Yeah. The road deputies do. And then, like, because it's a sheriff's office, we handle all the corrections, so the jail as well. Mm-hmm. And it's two different entities of the sheriff's, right? There's corrections and then there's criminal patrol.
Yeah.
But we get to see this on video. And we get to watch what these guys are doing. And now guys that have been training for, 6 months, a year are, using a collar tie and a bicep tie or an underhook and doing a foot sweep and taking the dude down and going right into a kimura and, like, looking around, getting on the radio rather than, And, one of the things for me is, like, I preach, I don't believe in pain compliance. I don't believe in pain compliance because pain institutes a defense response in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? If you come up to me and take your knuckle and start grinding it into my sternum, I'm going to hit your hand away. Rather than go, I'm not going to let you do that. Go, yeah, here, take my hand and put a handcuff on it, right? I'm going to push your hand away out of natural human response and protection. So, we see these videos of cops, give me your hand, show me your hand, show me your hand. And they're punching them in the back of the head. And all the dude is doing is covering up and trying to get away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, you're causing that.
Yeah.
You're causing that.
It's hard to watch. Those videos are very hard to watch.
They're hard to watch, man. I'm like, just do, like, the deal. Like, when you have the power or the magic of jiu-jitsu, there are men out there, even at our level, like, there are men out there that when they grab you or make a grip or a collar tie, you're like, what the fuck just grabbed me? Right? Yeah. And, like, that's what I want. I want you to be able to grab someone and control someone to where you're not hurting them, but they're like, holy fuck, I can't move. And then you put them on the ground and you just settle, and it's like
control.
Hey, relax.
The control part without the pain compliance,
Exactly.
I like the pain compliance at my gym when I'm rolling with my buddies. I still like that.
For sure. Absolutely. Oh, man.
Give them a little chin in the rib, a little knuckle when no one's looking.
I got a thing from a buddy of mine called cotovelo de justiça.
What is that?
What is it? It's elbow of justice in Portuguese. Cotovelo de justiça. When you're inside control, you just underhook the far side tricep, like you're going for that far side armbar.
I know that.
And you turn your elbow into their sternum and just.
Yes. I know that. I've been on the giving and receiving end of that one many times.
Yeah. So,
but that's great. I'm glad that it's great to hear that jiu-jitsu's been around, at least when you talk about your department, it's been around long enough that you can start to see the change in the use of force. Complaint? Would you just say complaints, or how would you say that? How would you gauge that? Like, your officers coming back like, hey, I didn't have to fight this guy where I normally this would have been a drag out brawl if I didn't know jiu-jitsu. How were you guys measuring that?
Well, so obviously every use of force has a report that goes along with it.
That's the part, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the part. And if there's injuries that occur in that use of force, whether it's officer-related injuries or subject-related injuries, that is in the report. If it's officer, there's first reports of injury where they've got to go, all this stuff.
So if I can clarify, let me. So it's right. Yeah. They're reporting a use of force; those are going down. But then, like, public use of force complaints as well, right? Those would be are those two things that are measured Like the public is, or are we just looking at our own within the police department? You're seeing less officers report use of force.
Right. So the officers basically report. So, say I'm going to make an arrest on a guy and he doesn't comply. Then I end up having to take him down, physically put him in handcuffs. There'll be a report associated along with that arrest. And if there was any resisting of arrest, then that would be notated in the report. Also, if there's any injuries that occur in that arrest, that would be notated.
Okay, gotcha.
So you can track like, hey, there's less injuries now, both to subjects and to officers. Hey, there's less fights. There's more control, and you can gauge that, and you can actually really track it.
Okay. So let's talk about. There's a couple other things that make you, right? So we've. I don't know how much you could talk about this, but you weren't in the military, but you were a government contractor. Can you talk about what that, talk about why you weren't in the military and then talk about the government contracting if that's okay?
Yeah. So, a part of it is right place, right time. Mm-hmm. The saying luck favors the bold as well. I was a New Orleans cop. Obviously, when you're a young cop, you do the patrol thing for a little while, but I was a young, aggressive, athletic, hard charging cop. So very, very quickly I got pulled out of patrol and moved to what's called a specialized unit. And so I worked for like a non-conventional plainclothes kind of intelligence unit within the police for most of my time. I also worked narcotics for a long time. And I became friends with a former Army Green Beret who was contract. Him and I became good buddies. He lived right near me. We'd bring our dog to the dog park, and we started going and shooting and training together and working out together, and just became really good buddies. And he's like, hey, have you ever considered leaving and going contracting? And I said, well, I thought it was only open to special operations guys. At the time, it was early on in contracting days. And I was like, I thought it was only open to special operations guys. I don't have any military background. He's like, yeah, generally speaking, but he's like, you have a different skill set. And he's like, if I vouch for your resume, you'll get to at least go to selection. And he's like, if they pick you to go to selection, you don't know me. You don't mention my name. If we see each other, we don't know each other, right? You'll have to get through on your own, but I can get your resume at least in there and vouch for that. I was like, all right, give it a shot. So submitted my resume. I got asked to go up to a selection course. There was like 30-something guys at the selection course. I was the only non-special operations guy in the course, and 15 of us graduated, and I was one of them. And it's just one of those things, like if you're not a special operations guy, a soft guy, a special operations guy, you're a shitbird, right? Until you prove yourself otherwise. And, I kind of always lived my life. I didn't want to ever give anyone the excuse to say, hey, Lapin's the weak link, so I've always held myself to a super high standard. I don't know if you can hear, she's like woofing in her sleep.
Is that little girl trained? Is she like a
yeah. So she's a service dog, and man, she's awesome. She's rad. She can climb a roofing ladder, like, oh yeah, she fences like crazy.
Do you use her? Is she okay? Is she
not for SWAT stuff?
Okay.
Yeah, she's just my personal
use.
Yeah, she comes everywhere with me, and like she'll, she knows if I'm like starting to lose my temper or something, or have like a TBI episode, she'll like, because I've got traumatic brain injury as well from like explosions and blast over and breaching and stuff. So she'll like come and lay her head on me and stuff. And,
she'll
like,
know. She'll feel it. That's awesome.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, but where was I? What we were talking? I have brain fog too from that shit.
Contracting.
Contracting. You graduated. You were one of the 15 that graduated.
Yeah. So I got into contract work that way, and just kind of made my stake on my reputation. Whenever any team that I'd go to, Lapin's a cop. Fuck that dude. And then other guys who knew me or worked with me, but yeah, dude, he's like the most squared away dude you'll ever meet. Like, and I just made sure that I could outshoot everybody. I could out PT everybody. I could outfight everybody. I could outplan everybody. Like I'd sit up in my room studying at night and doing map studies so I could be so familiar with the area. It was like my own neighborhood while guys are out hanging out drinking. and
So
I'd
now-
be sitting in my room.
Did this take you overseas? Is this something that would take you overseas?
Yes, and it took me overseas. So I did a little over 6 months in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. During one of the coups there, we were supporting the presidential security team there, and then the U.S. Embassy and USAID. That was for a company called Triple Canopy. And then one of my team leaders was a former Army Delta guy from the unit, and I ran into him between deployments one time, and he was working for a classified program at the time for the NSA, and asked me if I'd come work for him. So I went over and worked for the NSA for a little while on one of their clandestine classified programs over in Iraq. And then, you just kind of meet people. You build your reputation. I did a little bit of I did a couple of years of anti-piracy work around Africa, Yemen, Somalia area, and did some stuff in Egypt, did some stuff down in Central South America, did some kidnap and ransom stuff down in Central South America,
Wow.
and then worked as a mentor advisor for 4 years in the United Arab Emirates.
Wow.
And that's kind of about where I hung up.
Is this all before you got married?
Some of it was before, and then most of it was after.
Oh, okay, all right. It's like
Yeah.
it's a tough life when you're. I would imagine. I've never been.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
No,
I was
it's-
gone a lot. When I was in the thick of it, I was gone 10 months out of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, it's part I don't do well idle.
Yeah,
I don't do.
I'm looking at my list and I keep on. I'm rethinking my entire life. Like, what am I doing? I can't nap anymore at 3:30 in the afternoon. Looking at this resume of things, we're not even through everything yet, guy. Just so the listeners know, we still haven't talked about guns and geese, and we really haven't gotten into how you became a pilot. But go ahead.
BioPro will change that, bro.
Oh yeah, well, let's talk about BioPro. BioPro, I haven't started taking it yet, but they are officially a new sponsor of the show. I'm waiting for my package to come in the mail. Tell me more about it. Tell me why I'm going to love it.
So, like a lot of things, I took it with very, very skeptical eyes.
Yeah.
And I would take a nap every single day, like clockwork, at about 2:00.
That's me.
I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it. And that was hampering my strength and conditioning program a lot, because that was like my really only time to really work out. So I wasn't doing a lot of strength and conditioning. I was just doing jiu-jitsu and taking a nap every day, groggy. So I got introduced to BioPro, started taking BioPro, and about a week in of taking it, I woke up one day out of bed and I was like, I don't feel groggy. Holy shit. What is this?
Yeah.
And I was like 2:00. I was like, I'm going to go take my nap. I don't need a nap. I'm ready. Let's go lift. I'd go out in my garage, and it completely changed it. So I don't take naps anymore, short of like, if I get called out for a squat roll at 2 a.m. and I'm up till like 5, I'll take a nap that day, but I don't need daily naps anymore. I got a ton of energy. My strength and conditioning program now is like 4 or 5 days a week. I'm lifting. I'm keeping more muscle mass on. I've moved all the year before. I fought down at lightweight, and now I'm not fighting at middleweight. So I'm back at a healthier weight for me, about 180, 182. Yeah. And the best thing for me about BioPro, and it wasn't even something that I recognized right away. I was talking to a buddy of mine after about 8 months on it, 8 months on it, and I used to have weekly traumatic brain injury episodes. So ocular seizures, really, really bad brain fog, like ocular displacement to where my body would actually think it was slightly over here. And like if I'm walking, I'd catch a corner or a door frame or something. And I haven't had any. I haven't had any now in a year. I did like a week-long training operation where we were doing a lot of explosive breaches, and I had a little mild one toward the end of that, just from getting some blast over pressure on my brain. But it's like it fixed it for whatever reason. It's pretty amazing, And I'm not a doctor. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But, the proof's in.
I'm a nap guy. I've owned in my time in Florida, I've been in Florida, like June 1st is like 25 years that I've been in Florida. I've worked a lot from home or owned businesses where I was able to work where I wanted to, when I wanted to, as long as I have my phone and my computer, I'm in the office. And usually, even when I was in an office, I'd lock the door, turn off the light, and take a nap around 3:30. But it's not laziness. It's let me recharge my batteries because I'm going to put in almost a whole nother day of work.
That's right.
Like whether I, get in the office at 8, 9 o'clock, work, lunch, work to like 2 or 3 o'clock, take that nap. But I'm going to work more and or go to the gym and do jiu-jitsu. So in my mind, I'm again, jiu-jitsu a couple hours, and then I'm going to go home at night. I did it last night. I went to jiu-jitsu, came home, protein shake, took a shower, went down, and I put in about 2 hours on the computer. So it was for that. I'm going to, even when I'm not that tired, I was taking the nap knowing what the rest, I'm going to put in just about another 8 hours where most people are going to get off at 5, sit on the couch, have a glass of wine, have a beer, veg out, watch their phone, watch Netflix for the rest of the night. I'm doing a whole nother day. Again, this is where my stuff doesn't even nearly seem as difficult as your list. But, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get in front of the computer again, but I need to go to jiu-jitsu and or weightlift. So that nap has just been part of that. I would love to not take that nap. I would love to not have to feel like I need to take that nap. So I'm definitely looking forward. So I'm hearing lots of good things. I know Tom DeBlas is a sponsored athlete. You're sponsored. You've been taking it for a while. So, I mean, I hear nothing but good things. So I'm excited I was hoping to have my box today, and I was going to take the first one on the episode with you today, but I didn't get the box. I think they just sent it out yesterday. So maybe on the next episode. So I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Look, I'm 50 on Friday. So I'm like, I'm in that place. The brain fog. Right? The brain fog, every time you said brain fog, that's like my biggest thing right now that I was like, do I need to find some supplements for this? And I'm hoping that that's going to help me. Because especially on the show, like searching for words like in the moment, especially when there's maybe like you feel like a little pressure. You're in a conversation and like you're pressed to, I'm being filmed right now and I have to make sure that I say the right word. And I'll search for names, or I can remember what it's funny because I can if I have to tell you about a client, I know where everything is. I could tell you everything about the client. But if I got to remember the name of somebody I met last week, I'm going to that's my brain fog. Or, hey, that guy that sings that song, or that black belt that one, that's the shit that I'm not remembering that I remembered before. It wasn't like this before.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that helps him with that. So stay tuned.
I'm excited. I want to hear about your journey on it too. Cause, like I said, I'm a believer and I did my own test. My own, anecdotal testing on it. And I took it for several weeks, and then I came off of it for several weeks.
Really?
And then I took it every other day for several weeks, and then I came off of it. And then I just took it every day, and I was like, all right, this shit works.
You were noticing the differences when you were on and off? Yeah. Oh, man, I'm excited. So, I know these days everybody's, all my training partners have tried to get me into these, these wellness facilities and testosterone and all this. And now I'd taken some steroids when I was in my 30s, and it definitely, I wound up having a heart attack 6 years ago. A lot of it I relate back to that time, and it wasn't a huge period of my life, but, I took HGH, I was taking, D-ball and Winstrol and stuff like that. Right. So, I've said, I'm never going to, inject anything into my body again. And then this thing came along and I'm like, yeah, this is it just sounds perfect for me, So I'm excited to get again, my listeners know I've been like, oh man, everybody's trying to push me to do this and that. And I'm just like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Got the okay from my doctors, from my cardiologist and my doctor. But I've again been dragging my feet on it. And then they approached us and this came up and I was just like, all right, let's give this a try. And again, I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm glad that you're telling me. Yeah,
it's all natural. It's a natural thing. It's not synthetic. And I haven't noticed any negative side effects. And I'm on testosterone therapy, and I say testosterone therapy because there's a difference between doing cycles where you're stacking stuff, and I've been on the same amount of testosterone from my doctor with regular blood work for 5, 6 years now.
Okay.
When I was about 38 years old, I thought I was ill. Like, I thought I was actually like sick. I thought I had a disease or something. I got like whacked, just super, super tired. No motivation, irritable, cranky, grumpy, zero libido, the whole 9 yards. And I went and started getting blood work done, and my testosterone was in the low 200s.
Okay.
And that's just a lifetime of cortisol and getting, being out in the heat and stress and adrenaline and all that stuff. So my doctor put me on some stuff, and I've still been on it. But I feel good, man. I train jiu-jitsu 1 to 2 times a day. Not always hard, sometimes easy, but I'm always moving around, even when I'm teaching and just coaching. And then I do my strength and conditioning program probably 4 to 5 days a week. And then I've got a little routine that I do every morning at 6 a.m. out on my back patio, which is body weight and super, super lightweight mobility stuff. So before I even make breakfast and my first cup of coffee, I've done 50 deadlifts, 50 front squats, and 50 bent over rows, just to move around and warm up. And
once again, you've got me questioning my life, Greg. Yeah, one of the last thing on BioPro that I'll say is when I spoke to Dustin with the company, I told him, I said, listen, I've been taking Astroflave. Have you seen Astroflave? It's
I'm not familiar
supplement, has like the ashwagandha in it, like stuff like everybody heard it on Rogan, and then that world blew up a little bit. So I said, I've been taking this thing. What he's like, what's in it? And I read, and he looked it up. He's like, keep on taking this. So like the fact that you said you're doing the testosterone therapy and you're taking this again, he said, keep on taking that. If it's working for you, keep on taking it, which it's definitely, I actually just got blood work done. So I know what my testosterone levels are now. So it's like great to just start this now. And then I'll be able to see, what the differences are. But he's like, just keep on taking it. You can keep on taking that. So that was like comforting because I feel like I was starting to see good results after about 3 or 4 months on that. And I definitely, again, I still have the brain fog though. I still have these other things that I know that I can.
Well, I noticed a big cognitive increase with the BioPro as well, and it's funny because I started taking the BioPro right at about when I started my pilot license and stuff. Started taking flying lessons and everything, which is obviously there's a lot going on in a cockpit of an airplane, even a small airplane, with very, very high risk, it's very academic as well to be able to pass the tests in a lot of the ground schools and all that stuff. It's like I started taking it in no brain fog, and I'm on the radio with the tower and control, and I'm switching this and switching that and pulling flaps and doing all these 17 different things at one time, and I'm like, and I'm like, holy, all right, cool, this works. I don't think I could have done this several months ago. So.
That's good. So tell us more about your road the road to becoming a pilot. It was this. I think you kind of said like I just wanted to make sure. Like I want to know. Like you want to have. We said jack of all trades before. Like you want to have knowledge of all these things. Was it a specific like gap that you felt like you wanted to fill in? Or why become a pilot? You're doing all these things. Why being? I just got to imagine. Let me just say this because I feel like this is what I would get from my wife. Like I'd get this. Really? Oh, do you have like? Are you getting that? I mean, you got to have like a supportive wife for this kind of stuff. I know mine never really loved jiu-jitsu, and then she just like, all right, I see that you love it. I see that it makes you better. But again, I feel like I'd get to like, really, 2 businesses, the podcast, the marketing company, doing jiu-jitsu every day. Really? A pilot now? I mean, what was your response?
I get that as well.
Yeah.
I get, okay, that's great. Then I just go do it. So, but so I always, I flew around a lot of different airplanes when I was doing the contracting stuff, and I got to fly around in helicopters doing all that stuff. And I was always fascinated with the skill set. I thought it was a cool skill set to be able to get in this hunk of metal and then go float it through the air somewhere. Like, that's pretty cool. And honestly, like really during like the height of a lot of like the quarantine lockdown shutdown bullshit, where there was coming up that like if you want to travel, we might talk about doing mandatory vaccinations if you want to travel in the U.S. I was like, fuck that. And I was like, I lack a skill set. Like, I can walk somewhere on my own 2 feet. I can ride a bike, motorcycle, dirt bike. I know how to saddle a horse. I can drive a car. I can sail a boat. But what can't I do? I can't fly. So it's like, if you really want to get somewhere over a great distance effectively, especially if we were talking about, you know, doom and gloom, like, you got to be able to fly. So I just basically said, fuck it, I'm doing it. I found a local school and I started taking lessons. I started flying basically 2 to 3 times a week until I got my pilot's license, you know, and now I maintain it. I try to fly once a month. That's kind of what my minimal comfort level is right now. I don't want to go longer than that because I'm like a 1-stripe white belt, you know. So I try to fly once a month, right, to keep some of my hours up, and then I'm getting ready to do my instrument rating. So I'll do my instrument rating probably the end of this year, get my instrument rating, then I'll get my multi-engine rating, and just work from there so I can kind of fly really whatever it is I need to fly, short of like commercial jets.
Isn't it funny how anything that we start to do as jiu-jitsu practitioners, we go to do this thing over here, we'll say something like, oh, I'm a white belt at this. Yeah. Or like, I'm a this belt at this thing. I That's named right. my marketing company. I don't know if you could see it anywhere. It's Black Belt Digital Marketing. So I tell people, I'm like, they're like, oh, well, do you train martial arts? When they see it, and I go, well, I'm actually a brown belt at jiu-jitsu, but I'm a black belt at marketing. So I kind of use it as that. It was unintended, but I started to say that. But it's funny how we use that. I'll say, like, when I'm doing something new, like, yeah, I'm kind of like a blue belt maybe at this. Like, I'm just, I know how to do it, but I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to hurt myself, but I still got a lot to go.
So they get it. They're like, oh, cool. I know exactly. You know? Everyone else is like, what, in karate?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you still get the hayas? When somebody that doesn't know you, you know, they hear it. I just embrace it now. I used to correct them, and I'm just like.
I'm like, yeah. Cool. Karate? I was like, yeah, kind of. Sort of. If you even ask that question, I really don't have the time.
Yeah, you're probably not going to like swim in my circles. Yeah. Listen, we've got some questions. Okay, we got some listener questions I'm going to go through real quick with you. So some of these people that might know you, right? So we've posted, and some of these people, like, they'll even say like they know something about you. So this is Wally's photo. He says, I know Greg likes the combat bike for comp training. How many rounds, minutes, and cadence?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Derek Wallace. I know him. He came to one of our Guns and Geese, him and his brother. They're Kiwis. They're New Zealanders.
Okay.
So I use the assault bike in a couple different ways. Sometimes I'll get on it in the morning, and I'll just spin for 30 minutes.
Is this this bike?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the soul killer.
Okay.
And I just get on it for 30 minutes, and I just a light cadence, you know. I don't know what the RPMs are, maybe 50 to 60 RPMs, you know. And then when I'm doing my lifts, when I do my strength and conditioning program, at the end of my lift circuit, I get on it for 1 minute, and I do 30 seconds at like 65 RPMs. And the last 30 seconds, I just fucking get down and go as fast as I can. I don't have like a super strict, like, I do this, and this, because a lot of it depends on how I'm feeling that day. I'd rather go and get under some lightweight and move around a little bit if I'm hurt or broken or tired than not do it at all, because I can't do my this many reps at this weight and then this many times. So I kind of cater it. I push myself as hard as I feel like I need to and want to at that time, at that day. So it's kind of my very scientific answer.
You mentioned it in that response, and I'm glad you reminded me. Tell us about Guns and Geese.
Yes. Yeah, so Guns and Geese is kind of the brainchild of myself, Greg Anderson, who's a black belt under Joao Assis. He owns Electric North Jiu-Jitsu up in Lake Stevens, Washington. And then Joao Assis, who is a black belt under Leo Vieira. He's a checkmate black belt, and he owns Electric Jiu-Jitsu in Huntington Beach, California. And, we all like shooting and jiu-jitsu. At the time, I was a brown belt when we started. Now we're all black belts. And we wanted to give something to people that was more than just a training course. If you come to a training course for 2 or 3 days and you shoot guns, you don't really leave there with a better capability. You leave there with some knowledge, but you're not better really at shooting. Now you have you have a baseline to go practice and get better. And it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. You go to a combatives class where they throw a knife in the dirt and you got to fight over it for 30 seconds. Like, you're not actually learning a skill set. You're maybe learning some grit. Yeah, you learn some underhooks, head position, head fighting, whatever. But I wanted to light the fire under people's asses. I wanted them to experience more the lifestyle of living this way rather than coming here to like really learn how to shoot or really learn jiu-jitsu. I wanted them to appreciate the lifestyle and the culture that comes with it. So that's kind of the vehicle. It's 3 days. It's really less about jiu-jitsu and shooting than it is about building bonds and networking. We do dinners each night together. We do a big bonfire roundtable on the Saturday night. We shoot every morning. Each morning is shooting on the range, pistol shooting, self-defense based combative pistol shooting on the range with me. And then every afternoon is jiu-jitsu with Joao. I mean, obviously all of us are there, but Joao runs that. And then we do dinners each night. And when they show up, they get a gi and a belt. Because I tell them, like, we don't want you to stop here 3 days. In 3 days, when you leave here on Sunday, you're not going to be Superman or Wonder Woman and be able to go beat someone up. You know? Yeah. You know just enough jiu-jitsu to be dangerous and then get the shit kicked out of you. But that gi is going to stare at you and it's going to haunt you and it's going to, it's going to hang in your closet and go, you fucking weak motherfucker, like, so go find a gym, go train. And yeah, we keep it very light. It's mostly self-defense based jiu-jitsu. There's 2 gi days and 1 no gi day. And we want people to train, like go join a gym after this. And we talk about that. And a lot of them do. So it's awesome. We see a lot of our students that are now getting their blue belts and stuff, which is super cool.
That's awesome. Congrats. All right, cool. So next question. This is actually one of my training partners. His name is Justin Lancaster. He's got 2 questions for you. He says, most rewarding aspects of owning your own jiu-jitsu gym. And he wants to know, I know that he and his wife, I hope it's okay for me to say this, they're thinking about having their first child. So his second question is, most important tenets of being a good father.
Oh.
It's the heavy one. That's the heaviest question today.
Yeah, that's a heavy. You might get a tear on that one, bro. I've turned into a total pussy in my older age. I fucking cry all the time, dude, after kids. Most rewarding aspect of owning an academy, for me, I love training. But teaching and watching the light bulb go off in other people's heads and watching it enrich their lives, watching people that may have had anxiety or people that have, PTS or been attacked or anything like, and watching that confidence grow. And now, like, I've got people that are like, family of mine that have been training with me for 5 years. And so that's really rewarding, watching people grow and watching their skill set grow and their confidence grow. Tenets of being a good dad. I joke around and say I'm not really that good of a dad. Like, I'm a C+ dad, your kids will be safe with me. They won't be in danger, right? And they'll be fed, and they'll probably learn some choice words. Lead by example. Really, being a dad for me is like about leadership, and it's like leading by example. Follow through with whatever you say you're going to do. Don't have empty promises, empty threats, empty,
I like that one.
You got to balance. For me, I'm not the fun-loving, super compassionate dad. I'm like, I told you to go do this. You don't get to do anything until that's done. I parent old school. My kids, if they misbehave, they go get smoked out in the backyard. Like, there's some rules and they know, like, all right, hey, go put your shoes on. It'll be 9:00 at night. Why was this not done? Go put your shoes on. Go hit the fences. Suicide sprints until I say stop. But at the same time, I've learned to kind of like balance compassion too, and then they'll come in and I'll give them a hug and say, hey, I love you. But you knew I told you what was expected of you, and you knew the repercussions, right? And you didn't do it. So I'm not mad at you, but you got to understand, like, things have to get done. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that really answered his question.
No, I think that does. I think he's collecting data.
Yeah.
He's collecting data. It's not the first time he's asked me he approached me the other day and was asking me about the same subject. So, Yeah, I've done the lead with an iron fist, and I've also been like, you know what, go talk to your mom.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this.
You got to balance that for sure. You have to balance that, and like different kids are different as well. My son's very different than my daughter, and if anything, like I wish this is for him. I wish I was more lighthearted and more fun. I wish I could be that way. And I wish I enjoyed the time when they were little more. Because when they were little, I was still kind of in the thick of contracting and being in and out of war and stuff. And then I come home and there's this little thing that I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Like it's crying and like, like here, take it, And honestly, like I held a lot of like resentment to myself and got depressed because I was like, I'm a fucking shitty dad. I don't even want my own kid, But as they get older, like now I'm like full force into it. Like I fucking love parenting my kid.
I have a stepdaughter that lives with me that I've been in her life since she's 10. She's 19 now. My 30-year-old daughter, who I didn't get to raise on a daily basis. Me and her mom were not together. I moved to Florida when she was 5. I came to Florida to work, and I was supposed to go back. Fell in love with it. All my friends started to move down. People that I worked with, and I call them friends now. And even my sister moved down 3 months after me. She had a job lined up even before I was coming. So I never went back, but then it was just like her visiting and me visiting and mostly her coming down a few times throughout the year. And I always, there's a little regret that I didn't go back, but my relationship with her mom got better when we were away from each other. We were instantly best of friends, talked every day on the phone. When we were there, we were getting in and out of relationships with each other, getting, messing up our other relationships. So getting away was a good thing. So I tell her, like the best thing that ever happened was us putting some distance, because we would have imagined what it would have looked like. You're getting older and you're seeing us messing around. Why are they together? Oh, and then they're with other people. Like it would have been a mess. And it just wasn't stopping.
How was that for you as a father, being away from your daughter and her coming and visit only a few times a year?
Again, it was very difficult. But I felt like when I left, her mother was dating and started to live with a school teacher who was also ex-military. He was a Marine. So he was a Marine vet. So I felt like I was leaving them in good hands. And I still, as soon as I left, again, I was coming back. But when I left and I got closer with them, we weren't fighting every day. We couldn't fight. We couldn't fight and then, get together and then make up. And then she's dating somebody and cheating on him, and I'm seeing another girl. Like that was just gone. That wasn't part of the equation. So it just became a better life for her. So even though I wasn't here, the best thing that ever could have happened was putting that distance between us. But what I was going to add to the end is she now works for me. I meet with her every single day. She's in Virginia. I'm in Florida. I meet with her every single day at 9:45 for at very least an hour. Sometimes for hours. We'll work. She works for me. She does a huge part of like our social media management and graphic design team management. So I meet with her every day. And I had always hoped, and even said this to people, that I know there's going to come a point when she's older that I can have a better relationship with her. She always knew who Daddy was. She came down. It was great. I'd see her, pick her up at the airport. She was flying down here when she was 5 years old by herself, like right through adulthood. And I always just hoped that I would have a better relationship with her or be able to get closer to her as an adult. And that's happening. Nice. Now that she's, I've got to see her every single day. We've got to look at each other on a Google Meet every day. So it's really cool that I'm having like those conversations and I tell her I'm building this for her. I'm 50. I want to build this and hand this over to you and give you. She was a teacher. She hated it. And now she's doing this, and it's like understanding, like not being living by somebody else's rules. She, again, computer and a phone, you can work wherever you want. I don't care where you are. As long as the job gets done, she'll go meet a friend at a coffee shop, or she's in the car traveling to a getaway with her fiance, and she's on the hotspot in the car working. I don't care where you do it as long as the work gets done. And I feel like I'm showing her this whole new world of, running your own business, essentially. This will be her business. So running your own business and learning that, I feel like that's a gift that I've been able to give her. I only learned that by coming to Florida and that distance. But now being able to say, I feel like I'm giving her this life where she's not running her life by somebody else's rules, 9 to 5, the grind, the hating the job, hating the bosses. Like, you're going to be the boss one day. I want this to be one of the biggest all-remote marketing companies in the country. I worked for a company that had 100 employees. During COVID, we had between 80 and 90 that worked in the same building. COVID hit. We went 100% remote. They thought the company was going to fall apart. We did record sales throughout the entire COVID, right? Record sales. Everything was great. And they actually gave us the option. And they said, hey, do you guys want to stay remote? This is working. Everyone's happier. We can basically everyone voted, and it was like the majority of people wanted to do something hybrid. So work from home, but maybe have the office to come into every once in a while, a little change. And that's what they did. I left that company, but that's what they did. So they got a smaller office. Everyone is still, essentially on that hybrid format. But again, showing my daughter that we could do that. And now I want to surpass them. I'm starting it that way, working remote. We've got people that work for us in Canada and all throughout the United States, like either contractors or people that work for us. So, yeah. So anyway, long story short is that leaving at that age when I thought I was coming back. I didn't think I was leaving her forever. Not going back was difficult, but I built this life, and I built businesses and worked for big companies. And I was a VP of a moving company, like a moving brokerage company at 29. Like, I was making lots of money. I was able to do more with that distance that we created. So, let me add this. At 16 years old, she's visiting, and I'm driving in the car, and I started to apologize to her for not being there, for not having gone back. And she stopped me and she goes, Dad, I love my life. She's like, no, she had been to Florida. By the time she was 19, I'll include this, but she was 16 at the time. She's telling me this, but she'd been to Florida. She'd been on cruises with my family. She'd been flying by herself down here. She'd been to every freaking park in Florida. By the time she was 19, I threw her out of a plane. Like, we have done she's been up in the, what do they call that? Hang gliding, like drag you up and then they take you hang glide. Like, she'd done so many amazing things, and some of her friends had never even been off of Long Island. Like, they'd never been out of New York except maybe to go to college or whatever. And so she stopped me and she's like, I love my life. I can't imagine it any other way. And it wasn't like, I'm glad you weren't there. It was just like, I got to do all of these things because you weren't there. And I've had all of these other experiences that most of my friends never even had a chance to. And that was it. So as far as feeling guilt never came back ever. It's never come back because she let me off the hook. She was just like, no. She's like, she said those words, no, I love my life. And I was just like, dude, it was done. I didn't even finish the apology. And I did explain to her, I said, you understand, I want to at least explain to you why I didn't go back. Came down, my relationship with your mom got better, and then things started to work out for me. I got a girlfriend, and I was working for the company. I wound up becoming an employee. I was making a lot of money. I was able to do more from here. I was able to pay my child support on time and not miss payments and not hear your mother yell at me, but also the relationship stuff. She was old enough to understand that we weren't in a healthy place. So it was difficult, but it was the best thing.
Yeah, that's important as a father. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, man. It was I again, fast forward, she started working for me last year. She's 29. I keep on saying she's 30. She's going to be 30. My sister corrected me this week. She's like, she's 29.
You can't say a woman's 30 when they're not 30.
She's exactly 20 years younger than me. So I turned 50 and she's there. So she'll turn 30 in October. But it was all worth it to now be giving her this thing. I really hope to leave her my legacy being this business, at least for her, and her run this thing and have that freedom that most people don't have. And again, right now it's going to continue to be 100% remote. So when we bring on new people, they're working in their own place. And you can find people that, not everybody can just work remotely, because some people will get caught up in their day and the kids and the TV and Netflix. You've got to find the right people that can do it. But I think so much of the world is doing it now that it's just, my first marketing company, I never told anybody I worked from home. I would hide it. That was over 10 years ago. Now I'm like, they're like, oh, where's your office? I'm like, well, actually I work out of, immediately I work out of the house. I do have a remote office that I can go into when I need to meet clients, but I'm working at, I'm in my home office, and it's just so normal now. And like, okay, I don't lose any business because of it. And it doesn't hurt. So, okay, enough about me. let me get to my next question, and then we're going to do the rundown. So, is there a specific, this is the Nimble Yeti. He says, is there a specific program or system you would recommend to supplement training specific for LEOs?
So as far as like a specific system that I think is vetted and out there, curriculum and backed, in my opinion, the C4C PJJ system from Chad Lyman is the most comprehensive system for law enforcement. It's very, I mean, Chad's a black belt, long time black belt. He's a long time cop, so he knows both sides. All of his instructors are cops and black belts as well. So the cadre that come down and run the courses, like, know what's required of the job and understand grappling. And then it's primarily wrestling and jiu-jitsu based, but then it also does involve weapon retention for your gun, but very different from what anyone learns in an academy, right? It's all jiu-jitsu based. It's all about elbow control and kimura grips and wrist control. And then there is some striking, basically striking or defense of striking to get into a clinch and gain control. I think that's the most comprehensive. Like, if he's asking about a specific system that's already vetted and out there that cops can go to, or agencies can bring C4C in, agencies can bring them in. They'll go, the agency can host them. And
yeah, just saw those legs fly across. That's adorable, man. Well, so you so C4C, what was it again? C4C? I know I follow them. It's like C4C operators or something. Is like the Instagram handle, at least. I think. Yeah. Is that the handle?
Yeah, C4C operators. Chad's. I think that's Chad's personal Instagram.
Okay.
And then he's got a C4C PJJ.
All right.
So PJJ, Police Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, that's if they're looking for a program for the agency or for him, if he's a jiu-jitsu guy and they want him to start teaching, in my opinion, that's the best program out there. There are a lot of people utilizing another program that's been around for a long time, that's widely well known, that I think is a Ponzi scheme and a money grab, because you cannot ever train jiu-jitsu, and if you take the correct videos of yourself or you go to their little 3-day training, you're now an instructor. And Chad doesn't do that. Chad doesn't do instructor certificates. He basically certifies you as level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. If you're a level 5 guy, you're a black belt and you can teach. If you're a white belt that just started training and you continue your training, you're a level 1, but you're not an instructor. Level 2 is like, hey, you've been a blue belt for a while and you're a cop. Cool. Level 3, you're a purple belt, So I kind of like the way he does it. And it, again, for me as a cop, I don't teach guys guard work.
Yeah.
I don't even teach cops sweeps, to be honest with you. I teach them how to frame and fight back up to their feet and wrestle up, because I don't want to promote people being on their back. I don't want to promote people being on their back. I want to promote wrestling up and being on top, or creating distance. So
I went to a seminar where, it was to train cops, and it was eye-opening. And I think, again, you said this before, that I think I realized at the end that it was more about showing officers who don't train jiu-jitsu, like, look, there's this thing that you need. And I think a lot of them walked away with less like, oh, now I'm going to go do all of these things on the street, because you've only been, training those things for 3 hours. But for me, I was like, oh, wow, this is great. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, look. Oh, when I'm in the Kimura, or if I'm in this position. Oh, if I use my leg to block the arm. Okay, that's how you cuff somebody. Okay, but I'm not cuffing anybody. But it was interesting, and I went. I wanted to give it a look. But I think it was more about getting them to actually seek out training on their own. You're talking about something where it sounds like, right? You're going. Are you with C4C? Are you like, you fly out to him, and are you there for a few days? Like, this is a larger program? Is that what they do?
Yeah, so his level 1, I think it's a 5-day program, if I'm not mistaken. It's a week-long training.
Okay.
But they'll come to your agency. Your agency can host. So you put it out, you get 5 different agencies to send 2 guys each, and there's 10 to 12 guys in the course, and they'll send out 2 of their instructors.
Gotcha.
And run it.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so you don't have to. You're not going to them. You don't have to get a.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so we're gonna start to wrap things up. We're gonna do the drill down real quick. I know I got you here for like over an hour now, so I don't want to keep you all day.
One thing real quick before you do the drill down. So Chief David Marsh commented on the Instagram post, and he asked a smart ass question.
What was his question? I don't always take the smart ass ones.
But I know him, and I know why he's asking. He goes, "What's the net explosive weight of a 7 foot by 1 inch C2 charge?"
So I know that you reposted our thing, so I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw the ones that he posted on mine. But go ahead.
So, Chief, just so you know, it's kind of a trick question, but the charge alone is only 0.369. But you need a slip-on booster, 1/3 slip-on booster. You need det cord. You need a blasting cap. So it's 0.639. Smartass.
There you go. Asked and answered. All right, Bo. What time is it?
The drill down.
There we go. Okay, so these are, like we said before, these are common questions that people ask. So we'll jump right in with gi or no gi.
Gi.
Okay, takedown or pull guard.
Depends on how my neck's feeling, but I'd rather take down foot sweep or outside single.
Okay. Music during rolling, yes or no?
Yes, Hashionaish.
What is that?
Brazilian band, awesome Brazilian.
Yeah.
Band.
Okay. The next question was music preference.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen to like a lot of old punk rock. Like I'm an old punk rocker.
Okay.
But yeah, in the gym we listen to Ohapa.
Okay.
Which is another Ohapa or Hashionaish, the Brazilian.
Okay. Do you watch Jiu-Jitsu and MMA? Are you watching tape? Are you watching UFCs? Are you watching WNOs? Are you that guy, or is it like I'm consumed by this at work? I'm not watching it when I get home.
No, I watch. I'll watch a lot of the bigger IBJJF stuff, flow grappling. WNOs. I don't really watch MMA anymore. I don't watch UFC. One, I'm up too late. I'd rather be in bed. And two, I don't want to deal with all the dudes at Buffalo Wild Wings wearing the Affliction t-shirts.
I used to be that guy before I trained.
So yeah.
I was that guy before I trained. Big tigers on my shirts.
Right, yeah,
fake affliction shirts. So ultimate goal as it relates to jiu-jitsu. What is your ultimate goal as a gym owner and a black belt?
I think ultimate goal is keeping jiu-jitsu real, for one. That's important to me. Jiu-jitsu cannot turn into commercialized karate and taekwondo like it did here.
My co-host, who's not here, Miguel, he's on a little hiatus. He says he believes that there's going to be like the I love kickboxing, I jokingly call that dance fighting, where like a group of women hitting the back. He believes that jiu-jitsu is going to get there where you'll be doing moves where you don't ever touch anybody, and it's going to be like that watering down.
It's already happening a little bit. And, obviously there's all levels to this. And I know that there are gyms that grind way fucking harder and have more killers than my gym. But we grind hard and we spar hard and we spar every class. And we'll have visitors come from other academies, from other states, come drop in. They're visiting. And we had some blue belts and purple belts and be like, oh, you guys start on your feet? Yeah. You got to be able to take the fight to the ground. Yeah. Like, even if you want to pull guard, like you start on your knees or you sit on your butt. No, stand up, bro. Pulling guard's an art too. So you want to pull guard, cool, but I'm going to make you pull guard, and I might pass on the pull. I might just tap your foot across and pass on the pull. So you better be a good guard puller. So yeah, so keeping jiu-jitsu real is super important for me. And then just, not even in jiu-jitsu, but being the best black belt or professor that I can be. And I don't even mean my jiu-jitsu skill set, but that's definitely part of it. But just trying to I'm very upfront, I'm very honest, maybe to a fault. If there's a problem, I address it right away. People don't ever have to worry about what I'm thinking because I'm just going to tell you, good, bad, or ugly, But that kind of brutal upfront honesty is important for me, and I think it sets the culture of the gym. And
very cool. So our very last question, most important question that you're going to get all day: do you all day, right? Do you or do you not wash your belt?
I do, but like super occasionally.
Sporadically.
Super, yeah. Super sporadically.
So I say now I don't wash it as often as I used to, but I actually spray it with Neutral Zone. We have a sponsor. I don't know, you can't see it over there. We have a sponsor that gives us some you could like personal disinfecting soaps, So I've used that now and I spray it, so I'm not washing it I would wash it every night. I would
still technically washing.
I guess I'd throw everything in the wash. I just throw everything right in as soon as I get home. Maybe now once in a while I'll save like 2 gis, like I'll let them dry, but then take 2 gis and throw them. But I was throwing it in the wash every single night, and I caught a lot of shit for that. But I still want it clean, but I definitely don't wash it every day like I used to.
I have 3 black belts. I've got my original black belt that I got promoted with, and that's what I wear daily, every class. It's on 3 times a day. I have my comp black belt that I know is the right size, the right length, the right weight, no frays, that doesn't ever get put on other than in competition. And then I have a black belt that's just kind of it's like a nostalgic, very, very special black belt to me. And that's what I kind of, if I'm traveling to visit other gyms or traveling to coach or teach or do a seminar, that's the belt I bring there just because of what it means to me. So my daily belt that I wear daily, that will get washed every couple of weeks.
All right. I lied. One more question. What's nostalgic about that one belt? That one belt?
I guess just the circumstances that it was given to me, so.
Can you share, or would you not? You don't want to share?
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
Keep that. That's my one secret.
That's good. That's okay.
Inquiring minds want to know.
So thank you so much for joining us. I want to give you a minute to shout out any of your sponsors, say hello to anybody. This is your time.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I love doing this stuff. If this inspires one person,
yeah, man.
I feel like what you're doing is all worthwhile. Having me on, this knucklehead here, is all worthwhile.
When we hang up with you, man, I'm going to go do some push-ups in the other room.
Yeah, right. I don't do push-ups, bro. I don't push anything. Everything's pulled for me. Everything's pulled. But I mean, really, sponsor-wise, it's the same as you. BioPro, and I say sponsors like I don't make a living off of any of these guys, but I've connected with really good people in the industry that I like supporting. So if I can help support, and if a guy uses my code for Leao sunglasses, I get a little drop in the bucket. If a guy uses my code for BioPro, I get a little drop in the bucket. So not that it's changing my lifestyle, but it's supporting good products and good people. And those sunglasses are the most badass sunglasses out there, in my opinion, and the BioPro really works and all that stuff. So yeah, there you go, man. You got it. Yeah, you can get them dipped with your rank and stuff.
I love these, man. My favorite.
Yeah, no, they're badass. So, yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on. And, yeah, man.
All right, bro. Thank you very much for joining us. We got to do it again. Like I said, don't hang up. We're going to come take a couple of pictures, and then we'll let you run. But I appreciate you doing this, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. The Jiu-Jitsu Dummies would like to congratulate Neutral Zone Clean on the release of their newest product, a healthy and pH-balanced bar soap that's perfect for anyone looking to take care of their skin. This soap is made with all-natural ingredients that help nourish and restore your skin's natural barrier. It contains glycerin, which naturally attracts moisture to itself in the skin, leaving it feeling soft and hydrated. The new bar soap also contains a blend of olive, coconut, and castor oils and shea butter, which are rich in vitamins, nutrients, essential fatty acids, and antioxidants that help fight harmful bacteria. With tea tree and other natural ingredients, it also helps in the prevention of fungal infections. Not only is it effective, but it also leaves your skin feeling fresh and lightly scented. It's gentle enough for even the most sensitive skin, making it a perfect choice for the whole family. Be sure to check out their website, neutralzoneclean.com, for a range of all-natural products including sprays, wipes, and shower gels, and use code JJD for 15% off your order. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, man. Jeez. What doesn't that guy do, huh?
I'm tired listening.
Yeah, right?
He's super motivating, though, because he does so much shit.
Yeah. Motivating, nice guy.
You kept saying it. You look at your own life, you have to reevaluate your own life, and I absolutely get that. I feel the same way.
I'm really hoping I can get over the naps. I'm hoping that the BioPro helps me with my napping situation. Again, it's not like I'm like so exhausted. It's like the reset, and I wake up like it's almost like I wake up in the morning. I wake up from a nap, have a coffee, and then I continue the grind. So it's always been just like that middle of the day reset. But
it's also the schedule, man. It's like having something on your schedule, you know. Yeah. And he was saying he's not good not moving.
Yeah.
You know, so he puts shit on his schedule, and he just does it. Mm-hmm. That's the other part of it is I am that way. If I have shit to do, I'll do it. It's putting the stuff on my schedule that's the problem.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And then that just leaves me open for napping and shitting.
I'm good at that because my whole day is scheduled with clients or work. Yeah. I use my calendar. I'm doing this at this time, no matter what it is.
I see you do that. Yeah, and I see you do that. And it's a great way to keep yourself motivated. But if you don't have the physical energy, your body's not keeping up with you, and maybe a bio.
I'm excited to start taking some.
Yeah, let me know how that works.
So, all right, we're going to leave it there. Check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. And I'm going to say, please support our sponsors. It's how we're able to do this. Right? Go to our Instagram, or really any of our social media. We have our link tree, which if you click that link, it'll give you all the places where you can listen to us. And then every single one of our sponsors, they're listed there. You can visit their websites and you can support.
Shit,
yeah, man. It's
we don't sell anything, so buy this.
Yeah. You know? we couldn't do this without them. If you like the show, give them a look as well.
Yeah, give them a look.
Yeah,
and click.
I'm Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram. Right, that's my personal handle. I monitor everything on Jiu-Jitsu Dummies as well. Bo, your Instagram
at BADWERKS Badworks.
All righty.
A lot of photography there.
Very cool.
You're into it.
All right. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, Jiu-Jitsu. Us.